been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm
Welcome back in to another episode of Sounds Gouda. On today's episode, we do some PFF reviews from the Arizona Cardinal Green Bay Packer game, as well as got something special here that I think has been on a lot of people's minds for the Green Bay Packers, and you're going to have to stay till the end to see what this is. So before we get into that, just know that we do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Please make sure to give us a like, sub, and follow us on those platforms. We are still trying to run a promo, so every public subscriber leading up to number 700, we're going to be giving away some Sounds Good swags. Please make sure to get entered in for that. And of course, as you guys have alluded to, we have unlocked Super Chat, Super Stickers, and Super Thanks as another way that you can interact and support our channel. But let's just do exactly that. Let's get into the PFF grades. So 1 through 5, if you guys are not, if you guys are listening on audio, we are sharing our screen. So if you want to turn over to YouTube and or Spotify, both have the video feed for this. 1 through 5, though, on offense is Zach Tom sitting at number 1. Number 2, Rasheed Walker. Number 3, Josh Jacobs. Number 4, Matthew Golden. Number 5, Romeo Doubs. And look who made it in there. Slightly outside, but Aaron Banks. I think probably with his best game. Definitely on the pass blocking here. On the other side of it, the number 1 worst, Jordan Morgan, especially in run block. That did not help him. Luke Musgrave is number 2. Number 3, John Fitzpatrick. Number 4, Malik Heath. And number 5, Jordan Love. Let's see. Things that stand out to me here. Even with Matthew Gold not being quite as involved in this game, I think he did a pretty good job. Obviously, he's a little bit smaller of a receiver. He needs to still work on his run blocking. Romeo Doubs continues to be the security blanket for Jordan Love, so I think that one is not surprising. Josh Jacobs had a pretty good game, obviously. Helped us out quite a bit, and we knew that he was going to be integral in us winning. A little bit more surprised on the Rasheed Walker and Zach Tom. I thought there were some times there where they struggled, but they definitely were able to set in a little bit, which I thought that was good. Jordan Morgan, his pass block continues to be really good over there at right guard. He definitely needs to work on his run blocking, though. That is for sure. I've seen a lot of that. He's not a big bruising guard, too, either, right? He's not like an Aaron Banks. But I think there's a ton of improvement for him there. Luke Musgrave continues his kind of downward fall to the season. I don't think that there's any surprise there. I'm not sure, really, honestly, what much more we are going to get out of Luke Musgrave, especially with, Tucker Kraft just being able to be a dual threat, all-star type of tight end. Thought John Fitzpatrick, has done a pretty good job, more of your run blocking type of tight end. Definitely did pretty well here for pass block. But I know he did get flagged. Him and Malik Heath both. A lot of people got flagged on this one too. Jordan Love. This one's a little. I mean, was it the play calling or really was it Jordan Love? So I thought that Jordan Love, when he needed to make a play or needed to do something in this game when it was critical and it was game time, I thought he was able to execute that stuff pretty well. So that one was just a little bit surprising to me. Let's move on over to the defense. I think I know who's going to be number 1. Hey, no shocker here. Micah Parsons, obviously, had his best game as a Green Bay Packer. So Micah Parsons is number 1. Number 2, Colby Wooden. Colby Wooden continues. I think he's been having a pretty good start. He's been having his best season, and a pretty good start to the season so far. Number 3 is Isaiah McDuffie up in here in the top 5. I thought that's pretty good. Thought he had a pretty good game. Number 4, look at this, who's consistently been down, in the bottom tier, mid tier, hasn't been getting targeted as much, but Xavier McKinney over here at number 4. And then number 5, Javon Bullard. Another really solid game from Javon Bullard. You love to see that because he is really integral in being able to play that slot / nickel cornerback for us. And Obviously, he's got some hybrid mentality to him too. He can play some safety in a pinch as well. So you'd love to see him up there and playing well as Carl Brooks is up here too. Let's go. That's pretty good. And always too, like you take this with a grain of salt, right? Like there is a lot of context within these numbers. Not all of it's right, not all of it's good. And really, like watching the all 22 on each player is pretty much the best way that you're going to be able to decide on your own how a player did or did not do. On the other side, Baron Sorrell had his worst game, granted only though with 30 snaps. Nobody's going to be surprised to see this one. Nate Hobbs, on 76 snaps, 51 of those in coverage. Now, if you know and you heard me talk about that in the recap, that has been absolutely brutal. His coverage grade is a 42.1, got absolutely killed. But like I told you, what I think that he does best, and his grade reflects that as the only one in the green, is he is a very good run defender at the line of scrimmage type of quarterback, and more of your run fits that the other opposing offense would do. So I think that that's where he is best utilized. Number 3, Edgerrin Cooper. I mean, he didn't have his best game. I thought there was a player or two that he did pretty good. So you definitely need to see a bounce back game from Edgerrin Cooper. Tyron Hopper in here, only 3 snaps, so not much on here, and I think that that's maybe when they were kind of checking out Quay Walker to make sure he was okay. And then number 5, Keyshawn Nixon, and here, 76 snaps, 51 of those in coverage, 56.2 coverage grade. His tackling was absolutely excellent. Pretty good run defender, average run defender. And then Quay Walker. Quay Walker on 68 snaps, 39 of those in coverage, 21 of those in run defense. But look at this, and this you'll definitely notice this from the game, but he had 2 sacks with 91.6. So I don't, I'm not sure exactly how these grades kind of determine or drop or whatever, but the rest of the game definitely matters. But these are game-changing type of plays. So at least in my opinion, I wouldn't have his defensive overall number this low. I thought for the most part he had a pretty good game. So, and obviously came up with a couple of sacks and definitely a couple of hurries and pressures. So, but all right, let me know what you guys think. Is there any context that you get from these numbers? Hopefully they are valuable to you guys when we are doing this. But the one thing that I did want to get into for today and talk about this specifically is the Packers defense, and specifically how they can fix the quick passing game / tight end complete nosebleed that is happening over there for the Packers. And I think basically ever since the Dallas Cowboys game, most of those teams, like Jordan and I have alluded to, are trying to take advantage of that. So let's see. So let's get into solution 1. So cover 2, play more too high safety. Cover 2, Tampa 2. Hafley is already doing this in 2025 at quite a bit. He's jumped from basically playing cover 2 to about 21% usage. But with how teams are attacking us, we need more. All right, so here's the plan. Drop McKinney and Evan Williams into 2 deep shells more often. So this puts basically a safety bracket over the middle, takes away those tight end seams and those crossers, or at least it should in theory. It forces the quarterback to hold on to the ball longer, which is exactly what we want. So then, obviously, with Parsons, Rashawn Gary, Baron Sorrell, Lucas Van Ness, when he coming back, can tee off on the quarterback. So here's the pro. I'll give you the pros and cons. So number 1, it clogs the middle of the field immediately. Number 2, takes away the easy throws that are killing us. Number 3, McKinney can still make plays. He is elite at reading routes. And number 4, gives our pass rush an extra half a second to be able to get home. And number 5, Hafley's already comfortable with this from the San Francisco and Seattle kind of scheme tree. cons, but here are some cons to that. Makes us more vulnerable to the run. Obviously, you're playing more of a 2 high. Teams are going to be able to run it on you a little bit more. I thought the Cardinals did a good job of that. Teams can attack with more gaps. We lose McKinney's ball hawking ability in the deep middle. That's definitely, I think that's his favorite spot, right? I don't think any of us would disagree on that. Corners have to play more coverage on the outside. And then, number 4 takes away some of Hafley's exotic blitz packages too as well. So I think best case for that, we play more cover 2 on early downs and in the red zone. So I do think that does force the offense to dink and dunk a little bit more, 15 plays and down the field, which is what we're trying to stop. But that also increases the chances of mistakes too. And our pass rush can start feeding off. And if Micah Parsons has those type of games like he did against the Arizona Cardinals, and the quarterback has to hold on to it longer, create some more turnovers, and you can actually get off the field on third down, on a 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 23, by God's sake. I think that something like this can be utilized a lot more. Solution number 2, so robber linebacker. The plan for this: station Cooper or Walker in the middle of the field or in the hole as a robber defender. So he'll read the quarterback's eyes. He can jump quick routes. He can shadow tight ends. It's like how like the 49ers use Fred Warner before he was out. Or another one too that the Ravens use Roquan Smith. That's another really good one. So some pros of this approach: Cooper obviously has the athleticism to run with the tight ends. He did make a good couple plays, I think, covering McBride. Keeps McKinney deep where he can see everything, and I think that's his preferred spot. Doesn't require a massive scheme overhaul in my opinion, more of like a role adjustment. And then I think you can disguise it pretty good. So what you could do, you could show cover 1, you could rotate to robber post snap. You could do some really cool and unique things with it. And it takes away the quarterback's hot read too, which I think is really good. Here's some potential cons of this. Takes Cooper out of the pass rush, right? We really like him, and we think that he's a pretty good pass rusher. And a lot of this, too, is a balance, right? Like, you can't just do this one all the time, right? You have to mix and match and complement all of these type of things that I'm talking about here. I think he's been really effective in that. Quay Walker really doesn't have the speed to execute this. I think Edgerrin Cooper is a much better cover a linebacker than Quay Walker is. Quay Walker, I think, is really good. I think he can cover. I just don't think he's as good as Edgerrin Cooper. Creates a numbers disadvantage too against the run, for sure. So, and if the offense goes empty, obviously, where does the robber go? So, I like a best case scenario for this: Cooper becomes a matchup nightmare for tight ends. Averages, a couple or 2 to 3 pass breakups a game over the middle of the field, and we could start getting those turnovers back. Offenses can't just dump it to their safety valve anymore, basically because Cooper is right there and ready to jump on it. So solution 3, press coverage. Man, I told you from before in this last video, I don't know if we have the right skill set and the players to play a lot more press coverage and man-to-man, but they are doing it. They're just not doing it at an alarming rate, and they are doing it more this year than they were last year. Corners and slot defenders, obviously, press at the line, jam receivers. You can do that within 5 yards, and disrupt the timing. Even if you're in zone behind it too, you must get your hands on these guys. Bump the tight end at the line with a safety or linebacker, then pass them off. There's a way that you could do it too. So jam, jump, get them timing off the route, and then you can go back into your zone. You're more of a zone, eyes on the quarterback scheme. So pros to this, it can disrupt timing routes immediately. The quarterback's internal clock would get off a little bit, buys our pass rush an extra second, which is really good. Can create more press man opportunities for turnovers, which you really like, and then makes life a little bit more difficult on offensive coordinators. I believe Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine, if we can place more Carrington Valentine over Nate Hobbs specifically, I think that this would be a much better, more kind of situation on this. Cons, so a risk of defensive pass interference penalties if corners get too grabby. Obviously, you get a crew like you did last week, that's going to be pretty bad. If a receiver beats you off press, if you get one, that's really, really good. Most of these guys are. It's often a big play, can lead to a big chunk yards. So high risk, high reward. And also, too, it requires the cornerback to play with their back to the ball so they won't have eyes on the quarterback, which is one of the things that Hafley does not like. And then, obviously, tough for elite route runners. and exhausting for defenders too. And it's really is. It's hard to do that on every play. So I think best case scenario for this one, we throw off the timing game, force quarterbacks to hold on to the ball for another second. Parsons can start to eat, and we're getting home with pressure. I think that's really key, and pressure is key just in general for this defense. You want pressure to get there as fast as possible, and specifically with 4, and you can cover in the back end with 7. So I think that's some of the best case scenario too. Is your pressure's really gotta come through on that type of stuff. So solution 4, some more dime packages. So dime/dollar and match personnel. Sometimes you do have to fight fire with fire. If teams are going 11 personnel, so what is 11 personnel, everybody? That's 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 running back, and spreading us out. We need to counter with speed. So plan for this is to take a linebacker off the field, add a 6th or even 7th defensive back, put a safety/hybrid player like Javon Bullard, who we use specifically on the tight end, which he's been doing. Match athletes with athletes. So pros to this, speed matchup advantage. Bullard obviously is a really perfect fit for this. He played slot corner. He plays slot corner and our nickel cornerback really, really well. Can still play single high with better underneath coverage. Makes it easier to play man-to-man if needed. Cons to this, you can get destroyed if offense checks to the heavy run. That's not too good. Takes Quay Walker or Cooper off the field. A little bit of a leadership loss. Limits blitz potentials or blitz options, fewer bodies in the box. If they do go play action, smaller defensive backs have to set the edge for sure. Not every team has 6 or 7 quality defensive backs. We definitely are thin at quarterback. So if they basically check into a run in this, we're screwed. But best case with this one is we do neutralize the tight ends completely. And with Bullard or Williams specifically shadowing them, teams can take advantage of the linebacker coverage weakness. But I think we do have an elite one in Edgerrin Cooper. And we do get more speed on the field, too, to defend the quick game. Our pass rush benefits because quarterbacks can't just dump it off as easily. So solution 5, blitz more. Let's just blitz more. Be more aggressive in first and second down. Send 5 or 6 guys. I thought when they sent Quay Walker against the Arizona Cardinals, that was perfectly timed blitzes. And I thought he did a hell of a job and had a gaping hole, and he was only trying to get blocked by a running back who about had 40, 50 pounds less than him. Force the quarterback to get off the read really quickly and create some negative plays, make them uncomfortable from the jump. Definitely did for Jacoby Brissett on this. So, force quarterbacks into bad decisions. Turnovers. Hey, look at that. Micah Parsons. Hello, everybody. And this can be really deadly, and he definitely showed that this last week. So some cons of this. Leaves us exposed in man coverage. Cornerbacks can get a little bit exposed. If they beat the blitz, it can be a big play. Definitely exhausting for the defense. And I think too, like smart quarterbacks like Brissett, quarterbacks can check into a hot route and can make you pay too. So fewer guys in zone equals bigger windows for quick throws, basically. So best case for this, we force offenses out of their comfort zone. Create chaos more on early downs. I think we're playing a little bit more just predictable on early downs is what I want to say. Let me know if you guys feel differently. And then this allows us to possibly to get to generate some more negative plays and turnovers, set up more manageable third downs. And I think we can be a little bit more creative. And then teams too, like realistically, and I know it's not just as easy as, hey, let's do this and that equals that. Teams really won't be able to settle into their quick game rhythm. You know what I mean? And because of that, and the reason they're not able to do that is because they'll be from playing from behind the chains a lot more. Similar, a lot of what we did from week 1 and week 2. And you know what? The leading thing I think that helped us out in both those games, look how much pressure that we got with rushing 4. I think that just ends up being a massive key. Getting more consistent pressure with 4. How can we get more pressure with 4? Cover on the back end, play more eyes at quarterback, and play in the zone. You're able to break a lot more. That was really the game plan for against the Lions and against the Commanders, and it worked beautifully. So what solution is best? So the game plan, number 1, base defense, 60% of snaps, especially first and second down. Keep 2 safeties high, bracket the middle. Number 2, red zone / third down, 20% of the snaps. Robber / spy with Cooper, specifically keyed in on tight ends. This to me is where games can be won. Number 3, situational, 20% of the snaps, press coverage when we're in obvious passing situations, and selective blitzing on early downs to keep the offenses honest. So I want to reiterate that one too. Selective blitzing on early downs to keep the offenses honest. I know, at least when I'm watching the football games, that I know that on most of those early downs, not a lot of those blitzes are coming. I think we need to change it. I think that needs to be just a quick, oh, well, this could come. I'm not sure. I think sometimes we do really good at disguising it, but then most of the time they do back out. So what we can't do, keep playing the same single high scheme and expecting different results. These teams, the Cowboys, what they've been doing to us, they definitely have the blueprint, checking down, throwing quick, utilizing their tight ends for mismatches, attacking our, linebackers in coverage, slash Quay Walker. But I do think that Hafley is one of the most creative defensive coordinators in the league. He definitely adjusted last year. I thought he did a really good job, obviously at Boston College. I think he can adjust again. But will he do it fast enough before we drop some more games or even get close? I think if this defense can get back to creating more turnovers, just, taking the ball away like we did in this one, I think that this will definitely help us. Now, it's not all on the defense. I definitely think that there's a lot of this on offense too as well. Maybe we'll get into that to another game, but that's just something that I know I've seen over on the interwebs. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. So what did you guys think of this? Where am I right? Where am I wrong? Drop a comment below. Which solution would you implement first? And if you do want more Packers breakdowns like this to try and identify some more of these positive solutions to some of these challenges, let me know what you think. All right, Packers fans. Well, that's all that I have for you. Just know that we do have new content every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Please make sure to give us a like, sub, and follow us on those platforms. We are on the socials as well. I'm at Sounds Gouda with 3 A's, and Jordan is at Olsen Jordan. But until next time, Packers Nation, we hope that you have a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good night. Take care. Go Pack Go.
I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me, brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey.